Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Aaron's Book Club. I am sorry about all of this, but I have such a migraine right now because it's raining here and it's been raining for a bit. We're storming, and I've had a stressful week. I have a book review to do today. It's taken a lot longer than expected to read it because, again, I've had a stressful week. My horse was rushed to ICU. Thank God she's recovering from that. However, I lost my one cat due to lymphoma. The growth, the cancer that he had, the growth ended up going into his throat, and he couldn't eat without pain. So I had to make the decision to put him down, which has pretty much destroyed our family and the rest of our little feline pride. So we're struggling. That being said, I do have a book to a review to do with you guys, and if I'm not my regular self, the week is why. So the book review I have to do today is My Favorite Horse Stories, edited by Dorian Williams. I think that's how you say it. It's a really old book. It was written or edited or produced in, look it up here, in 1968. So these are relatively old stories, and I liked most of the stories. It was an enjoyable, fast read to get through, a stressful time. My main bone of contention with the story gathering or the story short story groups is the bulk of these stories were not in fact short stories. They were just chapters of longer books, which aggravates me to no end because you're thrown into the middle of a plot that's already been developed and that the author expected you to read through, to only read this little section and then carry on. So you don't have any of the backstories. You haven't really had a chance to bond to the characters like the people who are reading the whole book. You just get one little chapter. And it just seems kind of like a cheat, like a tease. Whereas if you have actual short stories where there's a start, a middle, and an end, like the haunted hunt at the end, that was a really good short story. But again, it was a short story. It wasn't just a chapter pulled from another book. And not only that, it kind of feels like cheating when you pull a chapter from another book instead of bringing an author's entire short story in. Because A, you don't get the good example of the author's writing. It's only a snippet of time in a larger book that you were meant to read. And B, it's not a short story. It's cheating. You're pulling something out that isn't part of the work, and it's a frustration for me. But that being said, the book was put together well. I really enjoyed that at the start of every short story, or in this case, this was a poem, which was lovely. There were two poems in the book, which I really enjoyed. I don't have a lot of horse poems, so that's kind of fun. But at the head of every poem or short story start, there is a lovely little picture, which is quite enjoyable in my part. But that being said, typical short story book. Some of the stories were great, some of them I didn't like. Some of them were pretty brutal, involving horse deaths. So, any horse lovers wanting to read this, just keep in mind there are a couple horse deaths in this. But other than that, a good read, solid read, nothing fancy, nothing special, but a good solid read. So, thank you very much, guys. I'll let you know when I have another book read.